A freezer full of food sounds like a dream come true, but crossing paths with another kind of Frieza may result in an execution. I won't stop until I've had my revenge and you're in far too many pieces stacked out. Serial killing isn't the only crime this megalomaniacal fiend is guilty of either. The most evil warlord throughout time and space has committed some of the most sinister crimes I've ever covered on this channel, which shouldn't come as a shock to you. And I'm about to tell you all about it. Okay, this first one's kind of dumb, but hey, still a crime. After meeting his demise at the end of time-traveling Trunks' sword, Frieza got sent straight to hell as punishment for all his evil deeds. There sure are a lot of them, as we will soon discuss. But the cage he got stuffed in with King Cold and the Ginyu Force became even more cramped when a greener, even uglier supervillain we all know as Cell got embarrassingly defeated by Gohan, a literal child. Anyway, in the episode of Warriors of the Dead, all the doofuses team up and run wild through the underworld trying to find the escape route. Cell even tortures an ogre guard for the way out, while Frieza watches gleefully. There has to be a way out of here. You aren't going to tell me it. If you don't, I'll have to torture you for the rest of eternity. Tell me now. I don't know. I guess the red ogres are the weakest of the species. Shrek would have effortlessly annihilated all those jackasses with his breath. It's the ultimate superpower. You don't even need to power up to the level of a god. Frieza's plan to escape hell was thwarted by Piccon and Goku, and he was doomed to spend the rest of eternity caged with the rest of Dragon Ball Z's scumbags. And without a shower too. But as you probably already know, this guy's like an annoying cold sore that keeps coming back. Dragon Ball's hell operates just like a prison, so we can add 4 years and $5,000 in fines to Frieza's sentence for attempted escape. And this might sound crazy, but that sociopathic jerk could also get 3 years and $12,500 out of his sentence for failure to report a felony. That would be for when Cell tortured the ogre and he just stood there watching with a sadistic grin on his face. Why am I still imagining a fight between Frieza and Shrek? Lord Frieza is evidently a huge fan of callous and savage murder. But in Dragon Ball Resurrection F, Frieza actually killed Sorbet accidentally after Vegeta blocked his Death Saucer attack on Krillin. Your buddy Kakarot needs a senzu bean. Okay, I'm coming. I don't think so. What the fuck? Of course, Sorbet was cowering behind the rocks during all the fighting. Useless. If someone actually cared about Sorbet's death and reported it, Frieza would be looking at 15 years in jail and a $500,000 fine for manslaughter. But luckily for him, Sorbet's life ain't worth a single cent. If you thought blowing up Vegeta's home planet and rendering him Prince of Nowhere was enough to make the guy never want to join forces with Frieza ever again, you'd be correct. I guess Frieza's critical thinking skills went right out the window when he powered up to Golden Frieza, cause how else could this dude have genuinely thought he could convince Vegeta to rejoin the dark side and kill Goku for him? Wouldn't you like to do it? You despise this Saiyan underling for daring to be so uppity. Kill him to prove you realized your folly and repledge your loyalty like the old days. I'll spare you at least. Vegeta, no! The rest of Christopher Ayres for mastering that evil laugh of his. That is amazing. Vegeta says he won't kill Goku because their rivalry is what pushes him to get stronger, so Frieza sweetens the deal by offering to make Vegeta supreme commander of the entire Frieza force if he finishes Goku for him. I've already made my decision. Pulverize you until there's nothing left. You dare say that to me? Stay loyal to you after you blew up the planet I was destined to rule? Well, I wonder what the prince would do if he knew you authorized planet Vegeta's destruction. Simply asking Vegeta to kill Goku is enough to get Frieza charged with soliciting murder and sentence 20 years in prison and fined $50K to boot. Yeah, this definitely wasn't one of his smartest crimes. It's great that most battles in the Dragon Ball franchise take place in literally the middle of frackin' nowhere. I'm beginning to begin to imagine the colossal amounts of property damage and civilian deaths that would occur whenever Frieza's in an episode. Nobody would ever see a Starbucks ever again. Having said that, there's no way causing this amount of carnage to the environment ain't a crime. Wow! Towering walls of molten lava! Yeah! Ooh, I love how Goku just got fracking propelled into a cliff at 100 miles an hour and then blown up, but immediately rises back up. But I'm still here. This Fricker's too strong, man. Those cliffs prove Frieza has some serious beef with Mother Nature and is the #1 enemy of cliffs everywhere. But what crimes could he actually get charged with here? Well, there's a few. Destroying the environment like that still counts as vandalism, so Frieza would be first sentenced to 18 years in prison for 6 counts and fined $300,000. He could also get convicted of wildlife disturbance, as we know lots of frogs and fish live on Namek. That crime would earn the devil a year in prison and 50K in fines. Then there's Frieza's weird ability to create rivers of lava during his fights. That could be considered geoengineering, and if convicted, Frieza would be spending the next 5 years in the big house and would be fined $25,000. And honestly, I'm kind of disappointed that he doesn't have ice powers like Elsa or something. Like, what's the point of being called Frieza if you can't freeze anything? At least that's what I thought as a kid. But like now, I've just accepted it. Do you know Frieza is only 5'2"? Height is this pint-sized emperor's biggest insecurity. That was actually the right answer. I trust I won't have to worry about you telling anyone else. Of course not, my lord. What I want is increase my height by 5 full centimeters. As if murdering the absolute legends who insulted him to his face wasn't petty enough, Lord Frieza literally had his henchmen steal the Dragon Balls from Capsule Corp just so he could get taller by 5 centimeters. Obviously. But why? Only 5 centimeters. Any more than that would be too noticeable. This is pointless. There's no one out here. Our orders are to recruit as many warriors as we can to rebuild the force. Like, dude, if you're gonna go through the hassle, at least go all the way. If Frieza's more embarrassed about his height than Vegeta is of that stupid fusion dance he does with Goku. I don't even think he's embarrassed about that, which is another problem for another day. Chilari used the Dragon Balls to save Broly from dying in battle, so Frieza's dreams of becoming barely 5'4" were screwed over by his own Frieza Force. But hey, who knows? Maybe a few workouts at the prison gym can make him grow a little taller. I don't know. After all, he'll have plenty of time to kill when he begins his 30-year prison sentence for grand larceny. Frieza's got himself a $100,000 fine to pay as well. That's insanely low when you remember that the Dragon Balls are like the most priceless items in the entire fracking universe. Definitely worthy of like a $1 trillion fine if you ask me, but I don't make the law. Also, why did Frieza even need to wish to be taller? The Namek Saga proved he's more than capable of transforming to the size of Piccolo. It was pretty brave of Nail to battle Frieza, and his power level is literally 12 times lower than Frieza's minimum. And boy, did he suffer some serious GBH. That's grievous bodily harm, by the way. In the episode, Goku is Ginyu and Ginyu is Goku, Frieza visits the Elder Namek and demands the password for the Dragon Balls. The Namekians would rather die than let the Dragon Balls be used for evil, and Nail sacrifices his own life by fighting Frieza. But anyway, that'll buy some time for Krillin and his friends to use the Dragon Balls instead. Like, surely a 10-foot tall Namekian warrior is gonna give a tiny Frieza at least a little run for his money. Nah. The purple freak literally dismembers his opponent using just the strength of his left hand. That has got to hurt. Oh my frick, he ripped that arm off like it was a wax strip. If only he became a beauty therapist instead of a warlord. So ripping off body parts without even breaking a sweat would get Frieza charged with mayhem. That's the crime of mutilating or disfiguring another person, and never in my entire life have I ever had to mention mayhem more than in this channel, because it seems like every other villain we talk about is mayhem. Some of these lads are messed up, man. A little Mr. Limb Snatcher here would be sentenced to 40 years in jail and fined $100,000 for the crime. He ain't exempted even a little bit. Thankfully, Namekians can regrow their missing limbs, so Nail was A-okay. Eventually. What's the most evil thing Frieza has ever done? Well, if it's not killing billions of lives, attempting to kill billions of lives is definitely a close second. After his humiliating defeat on planet Namek at the hands of the legendary Super Saiyan, Frieza had met his demise at last. Unfortunately, King Cold provided him with cybernetic enhancements that made him even stronger than ever before. And Frieza being Frieza, of course, the first thing he wants to do after coming back is to destroy Earth and get his revenge on that dirty Saiyan Goku. That of course, my Earth father. Whatever for, my son. I'd like to reload it. Change course. Tabs almond buttons, no one here to wound up him but me. Earth's greatest warriors anxiously await Frieza's arrival. Almost there too, I guess. She's never seen Frieza before. Hey, she's hoping he's cute or something. Well, she's in for a shock. Fabulously dressed Vegeta and the rest of the gang make their way to the little Lord's spaceship, but Trunks has already beaten them there. About to find out what it's like to fight a real Super Saiyan. I'm not talking about Goku. What? But after letting out an absurdly long scream, Trunks powers out to a Super Saiyan and fights an epic battle against Frieza. An epic, more like slaughter against Frieza. Like, Frieza didn't stand a chance, really. There's always been enough coward deep inside Frieza, so once he realizes he can't win the fight by brute strength, he does a Namek 2.0 by blowing up the Earth. Or at least tries to. This one's for you, Father! Everyone, get down! You could have done this right from the start and saved us a good deal of effort. Luckily, that wasn't the end for everyone. Trunks is apparently way stronger than Goku and actually picks the bomb up and takes the blow of it before finally finishing Frieza off at the end of his sword. Frieza! They're right there! Okay, so attempting to blow up the Earth and kill billions of Earthlings is a pretty serious crime. Duh. Terrorism would earn Frieza a life sentence and a $125,000 fine, and he'd need to serve a minimum of 48 years before applying for parole. Can you imagine letting this guy out of prison? Within a second of his release, boom! An entire city gone. We've landed at our halfway mark now, guys, and Frieza's already got a 184-year-long prison sentence and has racked up $1,262,500 in fines. He basically deserves the death penalty at this point, and I've only been scraping the surface of the scumbag's crimes. If you've watched my videos before, you'll know the crimes only get worse from here, and as Frieza is one of the greatest villains of all time, yeah, you can expect to see some of the most evil crimes I've ever covered on this channel. Planet Vegeta was famously blown up by yours truly, but what was life like on the planet before that fateful day? Well, the Saiyans used to conquer planets, purge them of life, and sell them to the highest bidder, forcing our people into slavery, reaping the benefits of our work. A pretty long time ago, though. All this time, we've never been happy working together, have we? I can't think of any Saiyan who likes Frieza. Ruthless King Cold eventually decided to retire, the Saiyans weren't freed from slavery. Instead, the reins of power were passed down to his son, Little Lord Frieza, an even more cold-blooded and don't forget racist member of the Cold family. Fellow monkeys! I have such high expectations for you. I hope you live up to them. Yeah, this dude would definitely say a certain word with a hard R. Whoa! Frieza quickly realized how good the Saiyans were at fighting and decided to use them to destroy entire races and take over planets. Planet Vegeta flourished as Frieza's own personal military base for years until he decided to destroy it over a legend he wasn't even sure was true at the time. Invasion is actually considered a war crime, so for invading Planet Vegeta in the first place, Frieza could be handed a life sentence of 48 years. Forcing the Saiyans to become his soldiers also makes him guilty of slavery, and the crime would get him life again, bringing his sentence to 96 years and $250,000 in fines. Maybe he can take some lessons on how to not be racist when he's in jail. Yeah, who am I kidding? Well, I'd love to make this video 4 hours long by showing every ass Frieza has whooped, I won't. But it would feel wrong for Assault to not feature in this video at all. Frieza's most iconic attacks happened on Namek when he literally played tennis against himself using Goku as the ball. You're lucky. This ball will go boom if it touches anything but me. Also, that time he bitch slapped Goku in the next week. That was also pretty memorable too. But my favorite assault by far was this tantrum Frieza threw after Goku, the Saiyan garbage, had the nerve to accidentally spit up on his glorious face. Ugh. Assault carries a maximum penalty of 32 years and 750 grand in fines, so just those clips alone would get Frieza thrown in the slammer for 96 years and a staggering $2,250,000 in fines to pay. But on the bright side, with his super speed, he'll never have to worry about the other inmates laying a finger on. If Goku never existed, this guy would win a dodgeball match against every person on Earth. There are zero limits to Frieza's cruelty. Like, dude, look at the bastard beating the hell out of a literal child. Don't get me wrong, that was brutal, but this was hands down the worst attack on the mighty midget. Frieza's words, not mine. But with his daddy and Krillin miles away and Vegeta just standing there like a frackin' baby, this looks like it could be the end for little Gohan. Well, actually, maybe not right now. Frieza does enjoy playing with his food and prolonging their suffering for as long as possible, even if the victim is 7 years old.
Sometimes you just gotta put your foot down when it comes to K-Bye-Bye. Right. There. It will all be over soon.
And that scene was just on another level disturbing. Gohan was screaming for his life. So I wanted to reach through the screen and save him myself. But I mean, Team Gohan don't gotta worry about any of that. Krillin arrived just in time to distract Frieza, and Dende healed Gohan back to full health. While Frieza won't be getting a murder charge this time around, those clips have earned the sadistic warlord 128 years in jail for 3 counts of assault of a minor, 32 for attempted murder, and 20 for torture. Altogether, that's a long 180 years Frieza will be spending in the Sony Lonesome. Plus, he's got himself a massive $3,260,000 fine to pay, so good luck with that one. I still can't believe Goku was just chilling in a pod miles away while his son was getting used as a punching bag. I guess he needed it. It worked out in the end. Frieza would be burning with shame if he watched this video and saw attempted murder as one of his crimes. You know there's nothing more he loathes than failure, except for those trash bag sayings and maybe the top shelves of the mall. Frieza has committed too many botched homicides to count, but some highlights include that time he tried to make a lava stew with Goku as the Super Saiyan seasoning.
Mama! Yo! What are you saying, Namek? Are you ready?
My butt's on fire! And he tried to off his own crew in Dragon Ball Resurrection F for literally no other reason than that their existence was starting to irritate him.
Shields! Raise the shields!
Triple Creep almost killing Gohan with his gnarly punch to the gut was also pretty iconic.
Go on!
You gotta give Frieza credit where credit's due. That punch was epic. There's no way Gohan wasn't still feeling that blow weeks later. He would also have literally died from that one hit if Krillin didn't have some life-saving senzu beans on standby. Those clips to get Frieza charged with 6 counts of attempted murder, and if the maximum penalty is 32 years, the Frost Lord will be wearing orange for the next 192 years, and will be getting slapped with a super hefty $6 million fine. I don't think Frieza even has any money, like he can just take anything he wants by force. What's the point of even opening a bank account? Frieza loves 2 things and 2 things only: himself and killing. Everyone and everything else can suck it, but there are 3 things that he particularly loathes: Saiyans, traitors, and bad hairlines. Unfortunately for Vegeta, he possesses all 3 of those traits. After Planet Vegeta's downfall, Vegeta continued to serve Frieza, but eventually grew tired of being a blind follower, so he went rogue and set out to kill the fricker who blew up his home planet. But Vegeta turning his back on him was already enough for Frieza to want him dead, but after the traitor killed his Ginyu Force and had the audacity to challenge him too, the Icy Tyrant was determined to make his demise as slow and excruciating as possible.
I was just checking your reflexes and they seem to be fine, just to be sure.
So they halfway. Frieza finishes toying with his victim and moves on to the killing part, and this execution sure as hell ain't gonna be done by lethal injection. And those three could have at least tried to catch him. Goku emerged from his pod just in time to stop Frieza from killing Vegeta, at least for a few minutes, anyway. But he himself faced the brunt of Frieza's fury in Dragon Ball Resurrection F.
Wake up. Soldier's no fun if I can't get his scream.
Bro, I hate Vegeta for just standing there like a fracking fridge. Goku would have tried to save him. If you guys thought that was brutal, may I remind you of the episode of Gohan Attacks, where Frieza impales Krillin with his own devil horns.
Krillin, no!
A little taste test of his victim's blood. Can the monstrous Frieza be stopped? Blood is shed. Tortures him with a game of cowboys. Yeehaw, that's it. Buckaroo, I don't go. Or finally throwing the little bald dude into water to drown. Frieza definitely deserves to be charged 3 counts of torture here, 3 counts of assault, and 3 counts of attempted murder for those clips alone. Those crimes that earned the lunatic lord 252 years in jail and 5,270,000 in fines. I will still never understand how Krillin survived all that abuse from Frieza. Oh, I mean he did, technically. But like, dude can take a beating, man. I think everyone knows that at this point. Lord Frieza is certainly one of the most, if not the most, prolific psycho serial killers in all of anime. The super evil stuff deserved its own segment, but these murders perfectly showcase the icy killer's derangement nonetheless. In Dragon Ball Super
Broly, King Cold passed down power to his son, and within literal seconds of becoming Planet Vegeta's ruler, Frieza killed 3 Saiyan assassins just trying to do God's work by killing their new oppressor.
I assume you get the picture? They're useful, are they not? I'll leave 500 units behind as a gift for your troops. Feel free to complain.
In the very same movie, Frieza betrays Paragus by killing him just so Broly will unlock his legendary Super Saiyan form and kill Goku and Vegeta for him. I thought you said you were the most powerful being in the universe, Frieza. Why you gotta do this?
Yes, there it is! Show me your power!
The episode of Fighting Power 1 Million, a flashback shows King Vegeta and his men storming Frieza's ship to overthrow him, only to be instantly pulverized by the sicko. What kind of idiot tries to take on the almighty Frieza with just 5 soldiers? Hashtag dumb ways to die. Going back to Dragon Ball Resurrection F, Frieza gets brought back to life with the Dragon Balls and murders a member of his own force just to test the quality of his killing skills. He's still got it.
Just as I suspected, my skills have grown a bit rusty around the edges.
Seconds later, Lord Frieza slaughters a loyal henchman named Taguma for merely suggesting he should ignore getting revenge on the Saiyans and instead focus on strengthening his empire.
They're sorbet!
Fast forward halfway through the movie, and 1,000 of Frieza's men get fired without notice after losing a humiliating battle against just 5 Earth warriors.
I can't stand the sight of all your anemic, broken bodies dressed in my uniforms.
Everyone get back now!
The episode of The End of Vegeta, Frieza killed that loudmouth prince for babbling about the legend of the Super Saiyan.
The dream come true to see you beaten by a Saiyan!
The episode of Guru's Gift, Frieza had it up to here with his simpleton crew, especially that he-brained Orlin for killing the only witness who saw Vegeta take the Dragon Ball. In Unwanted Enemies, Frieza permanently fires another member of his force simply because he's no longer useful.
You will no longer be needed, ever.
Transformed at last, Frieza commits his messiest murder yet by literally bursting Krillin like a frackin' balloon.
Help me!
Up goes the weasel.
Lastly, in the episode Another Super Saiyan, Frieza becomes lethally disgusted with this soldier for being scared of Trunks.
Why, Lord Frieza?
All in all, that brings Frieza's total kill count to just 1,017 for these clips alone. Coming up next, it gets 1 billion times worse, but let's focus on this segment for now. All of this would earn Frieza 48,816 years in prison for murder, plus a mind-blowing fine of $1,017 million. We're charging Frieza with crimes against the universe. Frieza's the most hated being across the cosmos, and the haters' feelings are 100% justified. I mean, the demon here has wiped out not 1, but 6 entire freaking planets, and that's just what we saw on screen. Vegeta was the first planet Frieza said bye-bye to. While he'd always been a little worried about the Saiyans' powers and numbers, he became super paranoid about getting overthrown by the legendary Super Saiyan.
Before it can be awakened.
Despite being assured the legend was just that, a legend, it wasn't, he decided to put his mind at rest by destroying planet Vegeta and genociding the Saiyans out of existence.
I, for one, feel so much better now.
Did you hear that?
Something wrong?
A meteor collided with planet Vegeta and our whole world was obliterated!
Only 10 Saiyans survived the fireworks show, and the number of people who burned to death had to have been in at least the millions. The rapidly decreasing digits we see on Frieza's scouter after the attack show at least 7 figures, so let's add 5 million Saiyans to his kill count. After blaming his cruel and calculated genocide on an unexpected meteor, Frieza would go on to obliterate 5 more planets. Aw, dude loves fireworks, doesn't he? A flashback from Vegeta's past showed the Saiyans destroying planet Sheik at Frieza's command.
You can't let me die.
Frieza said this planet was a tiny little planet, and unlike the Namekians, the people aren't born from one elder. Their population has to be much higher. So let's charge Frieza with around 500,000 murders for this one, just to stay safe. An unnamed planet was next on Frieza's hit list in the episode Held Captive. One of the orphans on the Mirror spaceship has this flashback of his home planet being destroyed by Frieza, a truly wonderful and peaceful place to live. Until that terrible night, they took our innocence. It was an ambush. We never even saw them coming. Planet looked as large and developed as planet Vegeta, so I guess it's another 5 million deaths Frieza has to answer for. Namek was the homicidal maniac's final target before his first demise, and after declaring the Namekians' home a useless rock only fit for a glorious fireworks display, the universe's worst terrorist blew it up.
Don't say goodbye to Namek! Die, planet, die!
However, the Namekians were actually long dead before their planet exploded. Frieza and his henchmen had murdered nearly all of them in their ruthless search for the Dragon Balls on the planet. You destroy homes. You take the lives of innocent, peace-loving people. You even take the lives of children. And all of this for your own amusement or personal gain. Now, one of the villages was destroyed by Vegeta, and the Elder Namek died of natural causes, so assuming Dende, the Elder's 108th child, was his youngest, let's charge this frosty psychopath with 90 murders. Thankfully, all the Namekians were brought back to life with the power of the Dragon Balls and transported back to Earth. Goku then defeated Frieza in the episode of Mighty Blast of Rage. What a name, by the way. Unfortunately, the jerk got resurrected by his father, King Cold, but don't worry, time travel and Trunks wasted no time in killing him Fruit Ninja style. People still play that game. The universe thought they had finally seen the last of Frieza, but going back yet again to Dragon Ball Resurrection F, Sorbet resurrects him decades later with Dragon Balls, saving him from the excruciating torture he was facing at the paws of adorable serenading teddy bears. Hill obviously didn't teach Frieza enough of a lesson though, because as soon as the Psycho's pieces get put back together, he immediately seeks out the blood of the filthy Saiyans responsible for his death. But once he gets revenge, wants to stop someone from using the Dragon Balls to bring the Super Saiyan back to life. A worthy concern. That's why I'll destroy the Earth while destroying him. That hell will be permanently expunged. I see. Upon landing on Earth, Frieza makes his presence known to everyone by blowing up a city. Destroying a city is such a fun way to say hello. And after powering up to Golden Frieza and enduring a hellish battle against Goku and Vegeta, both in their Super Saiyan God forms, Frieza is finally cornered, but the heartless tyrant still has enough power left in him to make one last selfish move made out of pure spite. You can all go to hell without me! What? Uh-oh. Wheeze quickly. Right. Yep, Frieza just blew up the whole frackin' Earth and killed everyone except himself. The species can breathe in space. Of course they can. Fortunately, time was turned back by 3 minutes and humanity was saved by Goku's God Kamehameha. But that doesn't mean Frieza's going to avoid 8 billion murder charges for everyone he killed originally, though. And last but not least, we also see the evil Emperor destroy this unnamed planet in a flashback from Dragon Ball Super. The truth is a million times and it would never get old. This world really needs to find a less destructive hobby. That planet was quite small compared to Frieza's ship, so let's check off another 100,000 deaths on his hit list. All in all, 6 obliterated planets, 6 counts of terrorism, 6 counts of invasion, and 8,010,600,090 counts of murder. All those offenses warrant a life sentence that can be as high as 48 years, so if I just destroy my calculator real quick, it looks like Frieza's gonna be sentenced to a super long 384,508,804,896 years in prison for his crimes against humanity. Still want to be immortal now, bud? And that's not even mentioning the wallet vaporizing fine of 8 quintillion, 10 quadrillion, 601 trillion, 35,388,500 $. I think the whole planet of Earth is worth less than that. In fact, I don't even think it's close. Dude, I guess his only hope now is to wish for the universe's greatest defense attorney. Can any villain top Frieza's sentence? Click the screen to find out.